All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us today, this Monday. Season's a wrap. This is our last one of the year, our last Monday call. So thanks everyone for joining us. Our writer guest today is our Monster Energy Kawasaki duo of Eli Tomac and Adam Cianciarulo. Both guys coming off a great day for the team at Fox Raceway National. We have Adam finishing third in the race, but second in the championship, Zach Osborne. Eli finishing runner-up at Fox Raceway and finishing third in the championship. So podium day all around for the team. Eli, we'll start with you. A good day for you. All in all, you got that first moto win, charged hard there. Looks like in the second moto, you kind of were a little further back by the time you kind of got up to fourth and didn't have that, the time to make that run and close in on those top three guys, but ended up with a 1-4, ended up second overall, ended up third in the championship with that performance. Talk about your year. You were three-time champ. Fortunately, that run comes to an end, but all in all, a great year for you, winning Supercross, another solid year outdoors. Talk about your 2020 season and talk about your last day out at Fox Raceway.
Yeah, Paula, I mean, it was a good day. Other than the second moto was a little bit, obviously I didn't come through the pack the way I did in the first moto there. It seemed like to me the guys got away earlier in the race that time. I was able to make quicker passes in Moto 1, maybe started a position or two forward from there. I made one small adjustment in Moto 2 that actually didn't work out to my favor. I just was, a little bit hung up that way. So overall, happy with the last two races. Found some winning speed again. That was nice. The middle of the season, I was just, off. I was off the pace of the front, and some things, just weren't going the right direction. So, happy to at least find something towards the end of the season.
Was obviously, the Supercross season had to have taken a lot out of you. It does to everybody, every year. And then you throw in the pandemic on top of that and all this downtime and all this uncertainty. Did all of that stuff combined on top of becoming a father for the first time? You had a lot going on in 2020. Did all of that stuff, even just life, come into play and have any impact on your ability to, go out there and try to make four in a row happen?
Oh, it's easy to point the finger at that, but I would say no. I just, first I put myself in a huge hole at the beginning of the series, right? At Loretta's there. So that was, with the second DNF was basically the axe, it's easy to say it now, in my season, for a true championship fight. I mean, you never want to give up, but that was not a good start that way. And then the middle of the season there, the way it was, but I'm not going to point the finger at being, saying busy with Lev here. My body is fresh. I never felt tired or worn out that way. I don't know, just to win championships, like the world has to just go around, the right way.
Sure.
That wasn't quite the case for us this time.
All in all, are you satisfied with your pro motocross season and how it ended up? You did end on a high note, ended back, in a way that you probably hoped it started, but all in all, would you say you're satisfied with the 2020 season?
Yes, just because the last two rounds that way. If they would have kept going the way it was there, say it, like Red Bud round 2 or even Millville, that's a track I always love. And, I had a very marginal result. So those would have stayed that way, yes, I would have been lackluster. But the way round 2, the last momentum about something.
Awesome. Adam, moving over to you. Incredible rookie season, I think, by all accounts, and any, it'd be interested to see how you feel about it, because if you are, disappointed in any way, I think that's probably a good thing for you. It just shows how well you came out, how well you adapted to the class, how competitive you were right away. Putting it all together from Supercross into motocross, finishing second overall, getting your first ever 1-1, getting a couple wins under your belt. How would you rate the 2020 season for yourself?
Yeah, huge. And it was just it's good, to have a good, basically second half of the season. I felt like in Supercross, I felt like I had a lot of the tools to be successful, but just missing some of that consistency and making some bad decisions. But to kind of I really feel like I applied the lessons I learned earlier in the year into outdoors. And yeah, and getting that first win is huge for me, mentally, just kind of getting over that hump. And yeah, that was just, I was a different guy after I got my first win at Redbud, and I think my starts were great this year, which is, it's always nice to have those on your side, makes your life a lot easier. And I feel like, in the beginning of the year, getting adjusted to the new bike and the power, I wasn't as good on my starts as I have been kind of in the past. So excited to have those on the right track. And those are a couple huge milestones for me, getting on the podium, both Supercross and Motocross, and then outdoors, winning a couple races and having some good battles and learning a lot. Definitely a lot of room for improvement for me. I can see pretty clearly where I need to get better. So I think I'm excited to kind of attack that in this short little off season we have. But all in all, overall, I think the season was a success for me.
After that crash and, that DNF at Loretta's, when you had that early lead, did you even think maybe like a shot of the championships maybe out the door? It seems like mulligans weren't going to be something you could really afford to have this year with a shortened season. Then lo and behold, you suddenly find yourself right in the thick of this title fight. Did that almost catch you off guard a little bit? After you won, you were right there. Did you really expect to be as tight in that race after that happened? And were you at any point just trying to figure out, okay, how can I keep this going? Or were you just taking it week by week and just going business as usual?
Just taking it week by week when I was, I think after Loretta's when I DNF'd, to answer your first question, I'm not sure if I was even thinking about the championship to begin with, just trying to accomplish my goals for the weekend, for each race. And of course, that's first to get on the podium. And, I have to prove to myself that I can run with these guys outdoors. And once I did that, I think, I could see myself winning the championship. I think I would be lying if I said, I came into the series expecting to be as close as I was, just, from a standpoint of being a rookie and not really knowing what to expect. But like I said, after I was able to get that win and just a couple of my rides in general, and you just gain a lot of confidence. And I wasn't too shocked with the way I was riding, how I ended up in that position. Obviously wasn't strong enough at the end there. Especially WW Ranch really cost me. I wasn't really riding well there anyway, and that crash with Marvin set us back. But I can't be too bummed on it. I was close, but I gave it my all every time I was out there, and I just wasn't good enough to win it this year.
Thanks. We'll open up to the media now, guys. Use that raise your hand feature if you can, and we'll get you here with these guys. Go ahead, Jason.
I'll start with you, Adam. You hear a lot when riders move to the 450 class how much more sensitive the bike is to changes and how much more critical testing becomes. But we didn't hear much on bike setup from you. You seem like you were pretty locked in. Is that something you want to learn, or is it something that you just happened to hit it in the sweet spot, or was there just stuff you weren't really letting on to?
I think I feel like I've always been good at testing I've been fortunate to have the opportunity to test since I was, 11 or 12 years old, with Bones and Pro Circuit, and them kind of teach me how things go. And I also realize how easy it is to overdo it in that area. So even in the past with me, I like to work really hard with the team and everybody to get the bike set up pretty close early. And normally we can do that. Obviously there's always exceptions, but normally we can do that. And then it's just kind of making little changes here and there to suit the track or what I'm feeling and stuff like that. But I don't like trying to reinvent the wheel every weekend. It's a tough place to be. I think all of us have been there at one point or another, but I try to keep everything as simple as possible and try to rely on the guys around me that are ultimately smarter than me when it comes to that stuff. I just tell them my feelings, and I trust them. Mainly my crew chief Oscar, my mechanic Justin, to dial it in for me. So it's just something I try not to get, lost in.
Did we lose Eli, I think?
Here.
Oh, there you are. I gotcha.
I'm here.
Barely, but you are there. Hey, first moto, Adam was down 24 points, but I know that some people are on the sidelines thinking, oh, Kawasaki, they're going to try to use team tactics, but you guys just battled it out for the moto win. So could you just take me through your perspective on that? Eli, looked like you were just trying to win.
Yeah, there was no talk beforehand, and I mean, yeah, I want to the guy out if I can, but 24 points is a lot at that point, so it wasn't last minute talk beforehand situation.
Yep. Yeah. What was your perspective on that, Adam? Is it just race it out?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think anything of it. When Eli and I were battling, we were racing each other pretty hard there at the end. But I mean, if I was in his position, I would have done the same thing. I think it's a win, and it's not like it's 8 or 9 points. I might be a little bit mad if that was the case, but yeah, 24 points is quite a bit. It's pretty much going to take a disaster every time.
Okay, that's it for me for now. Thanks, guys.
Alex Gobert.
Yeah, Alex Gobert, motoronline.com. For Eli, to start with, what were your thoughts looking back now on the outdoor season being later in the year, and would you be opposed to that sort of happening in the future?
Well, first off, the most important thing is we were able to race, for everyone's sake. The timing of it, no, it's not great, just because now our off season is pretty short for that sense, right? We would have to have more time off in between, even our Supercross schedule. I think the Supercross is so crammed. Sorry for kind of skipping around here, but I think Supercross, we need more weekends off in between for everyone's sake as well. And then maybe you could push out motocross because guys wouldn't get so burnt, say in the middle of Supercross there. So really it's just important just to do any racing at all, and that was only 9 rounds. You got to think about a typical season would have 3 more rounds added to this time of year. So I don't know, just weird year all around.
How have you what's it been like from your perspective to have someone like AC within the same team as you? You've obviously had, solid teammates in the past, but this time we've got what looks to be a future, 450 champion if all goes well for him. So how's that been like from your perspective?
Really, it's just nothing's changed from a teammate's perspective. It's just now I've got another really fast guy in the class to battle against, and that is a true player and a winner. So from a teammate perspective, though, nothing's really changed.
And just finally for you, the talk of Dungey sort of being interested in a comeback, that seems to have sort of lost some momentum, but do you have any thoughts on that if he were to come back for Supercross?
Oh, that's all I can say is in my opinion, the 450 class has gotten harder. I think there's more guys now that are truly going to have the opportunity of winning races. So it'll be tough, but people can do whatever they want. And I'm sure he misses the love of racing, in that competitive environment. I think it's easy to maybe call things too early, but everyone's got their own deal,
Yeah, awesome. Well, yeah, congrats on a great year. Over to AC quickly. Will you be training at Stewart's into 2021? What's the plan there?
Yep. Yeah, that's going to be my spot in Florida. I go to, obviously, I'm out in California quite a bit as well, but that'll be my home base in Florida. And yeah, so Nick Way is still my trainer and my riding coach, and then obviously just going to be plugged in there at James's, being able to take advantage of the compound and the tracks there. So excited for a little change of scenery.
What's your thoughts on, seeing obviously Osborne win his first 450 championship at 31? We've seen Brayton have some success in his 30s. Obviously Reed has had a really long career. From your perspective, after your first season on the big bike, how long do you kind of think the ideal length of careers would be? For someone in your shoes.
I mean, yeah, it's different for everybody, right? But I think, I would think to make it to 30 is pretty solid. It depends on what level you're doing it at though too. Depends on your program and if you really like it. Like if you absolutely just can't stand getting on the bicycle and, going out to the track and doing 2 motos on Tuesday and you're just, dragging out and grinding, then you probably won't make it that long. But for guys that really enjoy it, I think as long as the body holds up, and I think technology's coming around, I think you see athletes in other sports, Tom Brady, LeBron James, I think is like 35 now, and like they're kind of arguably kind of still in their primes. So I think guys are going to be able to continue to do it longer. And then, I was obviously stoked to see Zach. It's a cool story, kind of comeback story there. Everybody likes the underdog, and he had a great year, and great championship.
And last one for you, that battle in the opening moto on the weekend at Parla to kind of go head to head with Eli, the outgoing champion. How was that at teammate as well? So in some ways, it just sort of wraps up your first season on the 450, and it's almost like the true arrival of you.
Yeah, I mean it's super cool, and Eli, everybody knows how good Eli is. His record speaks for himself, and I really enjoyed kind of just the all around team success is cool for me. I've been a Cowie guy a long time, and I know a lot of the the guys in the team personally before I was even there. So just to kind of see everybody up on the podium and having some success with the green bikes, it's cool. And another, cool thing about racing Eli, he's just one of those guys, is not going to come in and just clean you out. He's got, respect and racing etiquette, and it's super easy to have fun, with somebody like that. Like if he's faster than you, he's going to find a way around you, going to pass you, but he's not going to just absolutely dive bomb you. So, a lot of respect for him. That was fun.
Cool. Thank you. It's been great to watch. Well done.
Kellen, go ahead.
Hey, yeah, Kellen Brauer here with Racer X. I want to start with Eli. You had mentioned how the last 2 rounds ended obviously really well for you, but you'd also had the win at Ironman earlier in the season. So what would you equate to, like, how your season ended to your speed that you had at Ironman, and where do you think things went wrong rounds 4 through 7 for you?
It's hard to point the finger at one thing. I really don't know. I can't point the finger at one thing. I mean, it's at Ironman, I got really good starts, and I started up front in the pack there. So I'll say that was a good thing. And the rest of the rounds, I was, pretty far buried every time. I mean, with the exception of Redbud, I got a 2nd place. So I don't know. I can't say much.
Okay. And then over to Adam. Now that you can put your 450 rookie season in the rearview mirror, what would you say is the biggest or most valuable lesson you've learned in racing this class this year that you can take into next year and years beyond?
I mean, the biggest lesson I learned is that I can win, I think. Just a massive amount of confidence for me. Like I said earlier, getting my first win and just kind of feeling like you can do it. It's one thing to know deep down you can do it, and it's another thing to really prove it to yourself. And it's like right there in front of you. You just won a national, and just everything starts to flow a little bit easier. So I think just I have more belief than I had to start the year, to be honest. I mean, that's just the way it goes. And I think too, with the bike setup, I've learned a lot about the bike and what I like on the bike. And obviously my first year with Oscar, my crew chief, and my mechanic, Justin, chemistry is just going to continue to, get better there. And I think overall just the belief.
I'm curious to know from your perspective as well, in that crash in the 2nd moto, how does that normally unfold from your perspective? Like, do you even have time to think about how you can save that, or is it literally just, oh crap, the entire way through?
Yeah. It was weird. So I was right on the edge of 1st gear and 2nd gear and going up that face. And the way the track was all day on that side of the track, it was really rocky. So that face was breaking away. And I was kind of going between 1st and 2nd on a lap to lap basis. And I just ran out of gear a little bit, like right at the top of the face, right as I was kind of wheel tapping the kicker on the top of the face to get all the way over it. And you pretty much know as soon as the front end drops as much as it did initially that it's going to be a tough one. But I thought the same exact thing at Thunder Valley, a couple weekends ago, and I was able to, although it was on a smaller scale, I was able to save it. So, I didn't give up on it. I definitely didn't give it up on it. I tried to wrestle it a little bit, but that was 50-50 for me when I was in there. I'm like, I think I can save this one.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
David, go ahead.
Adam, David Iser, DMXS Radio. Only you could describe training at Stewart's as a change of scenery, and we know that the internet's not going to let you get away with that. At one point, you went looking for him. It looks like you found him. Can you kind of elaborate if he will be there, how all that came together? Because not let you off that easy.
Yeah, no, it's pretty basic. I've been riding at the same property. It's been, it was Grant Langston's. Then it was Villapoto's, and it was a couple other people's. It's Jason Baker. It's Jason Baker's property now. And I had been training there for about 10 years, So it just started to get a little bit stale for me, just kind of the same drive and doing the same thing over and over. And I think, I don't know, I'm just one that enjoys, I like having fun and changing it up. And Chase Sexton earlier in the year, he had made the switch over to James's place, and James and Chase just actually reached out to me and asked me, if it would be something I was interested in. And I just started, going over there and checking it out and enjoyed the vibe, enjoyed the tracks. And so I'm gonna be there now. It's pretty sweet.
It seems like you start next to Zach all season long outdoors.
He starts next to me. He starts next to me.
Okay, but did you practice during the week with somebody on a Husky with a 16 next to you during the week?
No, I didn't. I don't really care, man. Zach and I have been jawing at each other all year long because he lines, I line up next to him, he lines up next to me. It seems like it's at least once a weekend every time. And he lined up just to my inside in the first moto this weekend. And I looked at him and I was like, dude, are you for real? I said, don't make me do this to you. Don't do this to yourself. You're lined up so close to me. My starts have been good. I'm just going to come right over on you. And I actually ended up going the other way. I ended up going right, losing balance and going right. So, I don't know what the deal is there. Maybe we just have the same kind of eye for the start of the first turn. But, it's funny.
Is Eli still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Eli, it seems like you're in a better headspace with even your struggles this year. Getting that Supercross championship out of the way, it's maybe, I don't know, at this point in your career, it seems like you took it better in stride this summer. Is that a fair statement?
It is. I mean, Supercross was huge for me. But that being said, I felt like that's where I was just better anyway, and that's what I was maybe missing beforehand was better headspace in those early seasons, the ones that I failed to win. So, a just different mindset on the line this year. I felt like, for Supercross that way. And, that was just huge to finally get that.
And with Zach Osborne at 31 winning this, would that possibly at any point change your retirement plans? I mean, you're 27 now, 4 more years. Can you do this 4 more years?
It's very cool to see. I don't know what the deal is or why it is, but everyone seems like 26 or 27. It seems like the time to ride it off in this sport, but obviously that's not the case now. Zach has proved that wrong, and with other names like Brayton and Reed. So I don't know. I don't think I'm done. Say after this next season, I would like to get 1 or 2 more in. So hopefully that's the case.
I was hoping you were out checking game cameras, man. When are you going to get in the woods and kill something and relax and decompress this from this year?
Actually on a little road trip right now. So this is about it. We get like 2 weeks off here, and we'll hop back on the Soupy track.
Thanks, guys. It was a pleasure watching you guys both the entire year.
Weed, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the break, but Eli, you already answered that. So I'll just ask you the same thing. Adam, what's your schedule here now that the season is finally actually done?
This week I'm in California still. Actually, if you guys remember back Oakland time, I've been complaining about my wrist, and yeah, I don't know. There's something I'm gonna have to get my wrist scoped, just cleaned up a little bit. So basically, just a couple weeks off. There's just like some scar tissue and stuff built up, and on any type of hard tracks, or especially Supercross tracks with 2 sets of whoops, it's been super difficult for me to hold onto the handlebar. This weekend was absolutely horrendous because it was so hard and choppy. It was pretty brutal. So I'm gonna get that cleaned up, and then after that, just probably play a little golf. That'd be nice. Maybe we can get the handicap below double digits. That'd be sweet. Maybe shoot another 79. Be my second one. That'd be tight. But other than that, yeah, like Eli said, it's 2.5 weeks now, and we're gonna be testing out here in California. So married to the game.
All right, that's it. Thanks, guys.
All right. Anyone else? Cool. Thank you, gents, for your time. Congrats to you, Adam. Congrats to you, Eli. And thanks all you media for all this. And we'll be hopefully back doing this again in January. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.